Hello, everyone. I am Rene Brent. If you've been on my page for a while, you've seen some of my posts. Rene Brent Hypnosis Facebook page. And I did a recording earlier on my personal page, Rene Brent, which is public. But I wanted to offer another time for my people who follow me here. So as you may or may not know, I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I went to this only school licensed in the Department of Education in the state of Florida, and I am been a registered nurse for 30 years. I did ER trauma, and I understand that there's a lot going on right now, and I have a lot of clients who have a challenge of anxiety, and I felt like I would come on. This is my room. This is my hypnotherapy room in Maitland, Florida, and my private practice. And I wanted to come on and see if I could just give some insights, some techniques, and then maybe do a light meditation afterwards. So as you come in, you can say hello. If you have anything that you want to work on, any questions about anything, this is completely interactive. Even if you're watching this tape, this recording later, you can just message me or just type underneath it and I'll get back to you, I promise. My goal is to help people just survive this tsunami that's coming at us. And it's not something that we can stop. And it doesn't matter what your opinion is about why it started or who started it or why it's so big, but it's there. So it's really about just moving into reality and moving into awareness and getting to higher ground. When you get to higher ground and you observe it, it gives you some space, some distance for health, for a calmer mind. And I would love for everyone to have a calmer mind. This is crazy times, and I want to encourage everybody. Hi, Edna. I see you here. I hope we don't lose connection on this one. Last time I had a little bit of a connection issue, so I'm hoping that Facebook won't kick me off this time. When you come at this with curiosity, and it's very interesting what's going on. It's very interesting to people's reactions. It's very interesting even to watch the media and how they're trying to corral us into doing what we need to do. And some of that is necessary, but they amp everything up. They just amp it up so that we will comply. And I understand what's happening. Is curious to do that. But when we watch it again and again and again, 24-hour news, if you find yourself doing that, I'm going to just strongly suggest that you stop doing that. Because what you're doing when you're watching the news and you're getting the same message again and again and again, you're programming your subconscious mind to be fear-based, to look at worst-case scenario. And what you pay attention to is what you will get and what you create more of. So if you find that you're watching the news and you're watching the stock market and you're only worst case scenarios of people dying or people stuck in, homes, whatever, pay attention to what's going on in your physical body, because this is your warning sign. When your physical body is reacting, it's your first sign that your subconscious mind is spinning around. So when your subconscious mind is spinning around, it's going to give you this. Ask yourself, where do I feel that in my body? Do I feel it in my head? Do I feel it in my chest, in my gut, my back? Because that contraction, that heaviness is your subconscious mind giving you a warning sign. And it's up to you. Hello, Monique. It's up to you now to pay attention to it and then interrupt it. Because if you don't, what's going to happen if you don't pay attention to your engine light in your car and you just ignore it? That engine is going to break down. It's going to seize. It's not going to work. And when we feel stuck and we feel seized and we feel overwhelmed and we feel ill, it's because we haven't been listening to the warning signs of what's going on. A lot of these techniques, these hypnotizing by media, has happened long before COVID-19. We're just seeing it all amp up now. Because if you're fear-based or you're anxious or you don't have any, haven't worked on your coping skills, and it all adds up together. And now every time you hear something that innates fear or concern or worry or the what ifs, now your subconscious mind is opening up every file in your life where you've experienced that. Your subconscious is your supercomputer, and it's going to open up all those files. So not are you only dealing with COVID-19, you're not only dealing with your whole family being in the house and wondering why people are buying so much toilet paper. You are dealing with all the other times where it felt like you were in danger, because everything about our beautiful system is really designed to help us survive, to stay as a human being and move forward. So my intention of this is to help you get to higher ground, to gain some awareness of why it's important not to be swept away by the tide, and be curious about it. Be curious about your reactions. We never want to suppress emotions. We never want to suppress our reactions. We just want to learn how to allow them to go to neutral. You're not going to be happy. All of what's going on economically in the world, physically for people, it sucks. It's difficult. But let's move into neutral. We don't have to be happy about it, but we can move into neutral. And neutral will give you some space now to shift your reaction to things, to get to that higher ground, to be the observer, and be very curious. Curious about how your family's responding to being all together. Curious about how it feels to be having to cook dinner with everyone, or to set new boundaries within a home. I said this earlier, I saw a funny thing. It said, planning your next vacation. And it was just a diagram of your home, bathroom, but it's amazing how we adapt. And for me, humor is very, very important. If I feel my body going anywhere, the first thing I do, and I'm going to suggest you do it, is to breathe. Breathe. Because as human beings, when we move into fight or flight, it's also freeze. And when you're in freeze, we suppress our emotions by holding our breath. So if you're a shallow breather, I want you to pay attention to that. It's very important that you breathe, because when you breathe, you're really telling your mind that I'm paying attention, I'm getting the oxygen that I need, and I'm safe. So if you're a shallow breather, I have an Apple Watch that goes off for me. I have to remind myself to breathe. And I'm a professional who teaches people to breathe and how to brain hack and how to have their body relax. But sometimes I have to remind myself. You need to remind yourself. Pay attention to it, especially now that you're home or you're isolated more. Pay attention to what's going on in your body. If you feel that constriction, you know everything about you is on alarm, and it's saying something's going on. We need to pay attention now. And if you don't listen to your subconscious mind, it starts with a whisper, and then it starts amping up, and before you know it, it's a scream. What I'm really trying to help people avoid with my clients, my private clients, and by talking to people or even doing this Facebook Live, is so you don't end this quarantine, so you don't end this social distancing feeling overwhelmed, feeling sick physically and emotionally because you've been packing it down, or you've been overing anything is just pushing down, and you're telling yourself, I can't trust myself to handle these emotions. So if you're overeating, if you're over drinking, if you're overusing drugs or alcohol, please do your best just to slow down, because at the end of this, you're going to be, there's three things you can do with emotion. One is you can shove it down, and then it pops up somewhere, which I call crying in aisle 4 or screaming in aisle 4. It pops up, and you're overwhelmed, and you're sobbing, or you your husband just said something to you and you heard that you're the worst person ever in all the entire world and you're a terrible mom and you're a terrible wife, and it's not even what they said, and you just lose it, right? So it's just about learning to allow. That's the third thing you can do. When you allow, emotion releases. When you become the observer of your emotions without being swept away in that, it allows you for a calmer mind. So when you feel that tension, that's called the felt sense, feeling the sensation of emotion, energy and motion. And when you feel that, that's when you breathe. That's when you allow. That's when you observe what's going on for me right now and elevate and observe this emotion. What's really going on for me right now? What am I really hearing in all of this? Also, if you feel that tension, one of the quickest way to release it so you feel safer is to move your body, to get up and go. Because your body doesn't know whether you're fighting against COVID-19 or a lion. You're just in elevated fight or flight. So if you get up and physically move, you stop from danger to I am in danger in your brain. And when you slow that down, you change your reaction. You change the chemistry of what's going on for you. Because every thought has a chemical reaction that's then translated into our physical body. And then when we feel it, the tension, the heaviness, then we have another thought that creates more chemistry. And the chemistry of that only lasts about 10 seconds. So if you're feeling an emotion and a physical reaction more than 10 seconds, it means that you are putting a log on that fire. And when you put that log on the fire, you're creating it. You may not have started it, but you're adding on to it. The good news about that is you can release that. You can let it go. And when you let it go, everything settles down. Things start to begin to just calm down. And that's all you want, to go into neutral, to get to higher ground, to just tell yourself, okay, I'm safe right now. And the truth is, all of us have been through difficult things. I'm in Florida. I remember when my kids were little, 3 hurricanes. Each time 5-10 days out of electricity. It was not easy. We made the most of it. We got through it. I think about that now. I'm like, okay, I got through that with 3 little ones. It's just me and my partner now. We can watch Netflix if we want. We have, Wi-Fi. I can do Facebook Live. I can see clients online. And so I move into gratitude for that. I really do move into gratitude. So some of the things you can do is minimize watching the news. Go watch puppies or animals, or breathe. Pay attention to your physical cues. Move if you're feeling tension. Exercise is really important right now. Moving your body. You need that chemistry, because that chemistry, especially if it's stress, is very toxic, and you need something to counteract that. So it's really about spending time as much as you can to quiet the mind. Now people say, Rene, I can't quiet the mind. Of course you can't quiet the mind if you're elevated all the time in fight or flight. But if you learn to train your brain to go down into neutral, and when you're elevated, you feel paying attention and you drop it, you're basically retraining your brain. You're retraining and changing the neuron connections in your brain. Neuroplasticity shows we have great capacity to shift it if we learn some techniques to be able to do that. And that's what I want to do today. Before we do that, I want to talk to you about boundaries when you're in quarantine. It's very important, especially when you're in close quarters, to set boundaries with people and allow boundaries for others. Just because you're all together doesn't mean you have to be sitting on the same couch, all day long. Or, allow your children to go into their room and have some privacy and time. They need that. They're overwhelmed too. Allow them to talk to their friends on the phone. Allow your partner or whoever to just, zone out without any questions. It's very important that we learn boundaries even within a confined space. Because if not, people push against boundaries. And we're going to start flaring up, and we're not going to be getting along with our family or the people that we're in the same space with. The other thing is, this is not the time to make big decisions or to have those conversations that we've been meaning to have for a while. Not the time. You don't have the emotional space for that. And everything's elevated. So when you're elevated, you're really not going to hear each other. And one way, if you do have to have a conversation, or you're setting boundaries, or you have to have a gain some clarity on some things, this kind of conversation up against each other is not helpful. Because remember that chemistry of spinning chemistry, and it's coming out. You're feeling all that. Everybody in the house is sensing each other, right? And I can feel your energy. That's what that means. It's just chemistry. It's not woo-woo. It's not magic. It's just the chemistry that's coming out of your body. And so when you're like this, all the energy at each other is right here. And it's very hard to be present, and it's very hard to listen when you feel you're being hit with someone else's energy. And when you're feeling hit with someone else's energy, you're elevating your brainwave, and then parts of your brain shut off. And you don't listen. You can't problem solve. You're filtering through almost negativity, often false things that you're hearing. So release this and go sit parallel on the couch. If you want to have a conversation, a heart to heart, if you want your child to open up to you, you sit on the couch. You go for a walk. You go for a drive. Because all the energy that he or she or you are experiencing goes out in front of you. And the person is not feeling it. And you'll notice, I say this to a lot of moms. If you notice that your kid talks to you when you're driving in a car, and you open up and you just say, so what's new? What made you laugh today? What made you angry today? And they that they never would have said it. It's because they're parallel and all that energy is going out. So do your best to set boundaries, to breathe, right? Get to higher ground, get curious, and stay in the moment. I'm writing my second book on worry. Imagine. Letting go. I know there's a need for it, but wow, I can't wait to get it done. I can't get it done fast enough, because we are in the middle of the biggest worry and what ifs and catastrophes in all the land. So I'm doing my best. It's hard to concentrate. I have to go to neutral sometimes, and it's very hard for me sometimes to do this, because I am sensitive to what other people are going through. I do have a lot of compassion, and I have to get myself to higher ground all day long. I have to. And I'm curious about it, which helps me be the observer of it, so I can get some distance, so I'm not swept away by it. So whenever you feel yourself frazzled, you know that your brain's having reaction. That's when you breathe. That's when you get up and walk. That's when, if you have to, just go into the bathroom. I did a session with a guy the other day. He went into his van in his garage, and he told everybody, do not come in the garage. And we had a session with him in his garage, no kidding, in his van. And it was great. And I reminded him of how powerful he is, and how capable he is, and how much he loves his family, and how he's been through a lot. And it was fantastic. So if you got to do it in the garage, in the car, if you got to, safely, don't turn it on. If you have to just take 10 minutes in the bathroom, pretend like you're taking a shower, do it. Give yourself the space. By the way, showers are fantastic, because they release a lot of the negative stuff that we're stirring up all day long. So minimize news, set boundaries, breathe, drink a lot of water. A lot of research shows if you're dehydrated, even mildly, it affects your mood. And if we can just drink water and elevate ourselves simply by drinking water, why won't we? Why wouldn't we? Why don't we? So make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, and really try to minimize alcohol or things that are going to deplete you for sure. So stay in the moment, paying attention. So when I talk to people about how to quiet their mind, they're like, my mind is going, I can't meditate, I'm spinning all the time, I'm out of control, I'm overwhelmed. So that's normal. That's normal. Again, you're not going to go from, oh my God, to, oh, I'm quiet, I'm Zen, I am just, connected to the universe. It's not going to happen. We have to learn to allow the thoughts. Be the observer of the thoughts. We're not going to compress the thoughts. We don't suppress thoughts and emotions. We just learn to be the observer, to allow them. One thing you can do, I tell people, when you're doing a meditation or trying to still things for a minute, if a thought comes in, you just like you're on the phone with the kids, you say, hold on, I'm doing something else right now. I'll be with you in a minute. That's what we do with thoughts as they come in and out. You just allow them. Don't suppress them, because they will get bigger and bigger and darker and darker. And we don't want that. We want to stay neutral. Again, we're not going to move to happy, right? I find humor in a lot of things, right? And I search for humor, watching a lot of comedians so I can find humor, funny videos on YouTube, because that helps me physically. It helps me emotionally to laugh. But go into neutral, right? Be kind to yourself. If the thoughts are coming, say, oh, I'm curious. Why is this spinning around? Why is this triggering this for me? Now, so we allow the emotions to come in, and you allow the thoughts to come in and the thoughts to come out. When you move to a quieter brainwave, which is an alpha or a theta brainwave, right? That's all it is. We go in and out of an alpha, calmer brainwave all day long. When you're zoning out at a movie and the kids are calling and you didn't hear them, or you pretend you don't hear them, or you're in the shower and you thought you were in the shower for 10 minutes and you were in there for 20, that kind of time lapse, that kind of zoning out is an alpha brainwave. It's a subconscious state. It's an altered brainwave. But you're very aware when you're in that state. You're not asleep. You're very aware. That's why hypnotherapy and the work that I do is so powerful, because when people are in an alpha brainwave, they open up to their supercomputer, their subconscious mind. They're open to their truth about what's really going on. If you want clarity and you want change, it must be done in an altered brainwave. And that's what I teach people to do, and that's what I want to help you do right now, some techniques. Breathing, by the way, helps relax and calm the brainwave, because getting up and moving, right, is letting you know you're safe. And you must be sleeping. And if you're suppressing all day long all these emotions and all the news that you've been reading, and you're trying to put your head on a pillow, and the only time your subconscious mind has that time to talk to you, it's going to. So if you're having a problem sleeping, do these techniques through the day. You can also go to practicehappynow.com. It's a website for my book, How Big Is Your Butt? But on there is 2 free meditations, and one of them is for sleep. So I want you to sleep at night. We must sleep at night through this. We must. And so go there and sleep. It just takes you into a natural brainwave. If you've not done hypnosis before, it's just a really nice meditation. So we're going to brain hack and try to calm things down. So, and create some fun. There are great apps, Headspace, Insight Timer, Calm. There's a lot of them. A lot of YouTube videos that are great. Just download it. They have free trials. Many of you, I talk to them, I'm like, you should meditate. You should download one of those apps. Oh, I think I have Headspace on my phone. Most of us have it, and we did it for about 2 seconds, and then we stopped. If you were ever going to take up this practice of just quieting for 5 minutes, 5 minutes will help all that looping of negative chemistry. It'll help it slow down. So just do 5 minutes a couple times in a day, and that will help you sleep better. It'll help your body and mind feel better. It'll help shift your ability to gain clarity and to problem solve, right? We all have to be the observers to get to higher ground so we can problem solve on how to move through this with flexibility. And if you're overing anything, if you're spinning in negative chemistry and stress, it's going to be very hard to problem solve. So if your brain is busy, do the meditation, 5 minutes. Sorry, thoughts. I'm doing this. I'll speak to you a little bit, okay? The other thing I want to teach you is something called the alpha sequence. I studied with John Overdorf. He's an incredible linguistic specialist. He really combines hypnotherapy with neuro-linguistic programming and neuroplasticity. It's fantastic. And this is the basis of what I work in as a nurse for 30 years, the science of the mind. So I like to do things that are practical. And I want to give you a practical technique called the alpha sequence. All it does is drop us from high beta brainwave, fight or flight, right, to a calmer state, to neutral, right? If your mind's busy, it's okay. But we want to do it again and again and again because you're retraining your brain. You're retraining your brain here. So the alpha sequence is this. You can close your eyes if you want to, not if you're driving, but just close your eyes for a minute. And as you close your mind, I want you to just relax your tongue. Sounds odd? Relax your tongue. When you relax your tongue, you're slowing down those message centers, the language centers in your brain. It's a brain hack. So when you're slowing down the language centers, you're not spinning so much. Your what if scenarios are harder to create. And the negative talk that you're hearing will slow down. So just relax your tongue. It drops down almost like it's a little bit fatter. And then you're relaxing your jaw. Naturally, especially if you're suppressing your breath, right? Fight, flight, or freeze, holding your breath. You're tensing here. So I want you to begin to just through the day, just put your finger here and see if there's any tension. If there's tension, you know that you're in this higher brainwave where you're in alarm. So put your, and then just relax your jaw. So right now, relax your tongue, relax your jaw, close your eyes, slow inhale, and long, slow exhale. Inhale, and long, slow exhale. Good. And as you're moving into that, slowly, notice what's happening. Maybe things are slowing down. Maybe thoughts are slowing down. But right here, you're giving yourself the opportunity to go into neutral, to get to higher ground. Relax your tongue, your jaw. Inhale, and long, slow exhale. All the way to the bottom of your breath. That's it. If thoughts come in, let them go out. If there's a part of your brain that's in the way, just ask it to please give you some space. Give you some space now. Now, go ahead. Continue. Breathe. Give yourself this opportunity. And what I like to do when I'm in this space and I can feel everything calming down, I like to, with my eyes closed, just look up into my mind's eye, the darkness that's there, what I call the velvety darkness. And I like to just expand and float in this space. Pay attention to all the space in front of you, all the way to the periphery. Continue to relax your tongue, your jaw, and breathing. You're being your own inner hypnotist here now. You're putting yourself into an alpha brainwave, into a meditative state, hypnotic state. Breathe in, expand into that space. I like to imagine floating above and see what's below me. And in this space, there's no body, no thing, no virus. Just permission just to be in that moment, into that space, and expand and allow. Relaxing your tongue, your jaw, and breathing. When you relax, now in this space, you can ask yourself, what's my next small step? What do I need? What do I want? Why am I reacting? You can gain clarity as you relax your tongue, relax your jaw, breathe, eyes closed, move up into that space, slow things down, move into neutral, get to the higher ground, observe, give yourself a break. We're all doing the best that we can. You are doing the best that you can. And in this space, in an alpha brainwave, you open up to 20 million bits of information. You have access to all of it, including your awareness. that you are so capable of moving through this, that you've been through so much already. You just have to remember that. You just have to connect to that and release some of the fear. It's fearless. We're never going to not fear, no fear. That doesn't happen. We're human beings. We're meant to survive. So we're always on this alarm. We have natural mechanisms. But just float in this space and ask yourself, what's my next small step to moving into neutral? Just be there. Gain clarity. It's also very interesting. I'm going to have you do this. I'm going to show you very quickly how you can do this with your mind, with your eyes open. And just expand to the space in front of you with your eyes open. So if you're sitting in the living room and your family's driving you absolutely crazy and there's no place to go, guess what? You can do this. You can do this when you get back to work and you're in meetings and everybody's energy is just hitting you. You can do this. So let's practice that. In the moment, you're going to open your eyes at 3. When you do, you're going to expand to all the space in front of you. Not concentrate on anything, just all the way to the periphery. 1, 2, and 3. Eyes open, look ahead at all the space in front of you, all the way to the sides. Relax your tongue, your jaw, and breathe. And notice how you do this. Now you're in charge of your hypnotic state. You're in charge of what's coming in, what you're paying attention to. Go ahead, close your eyes again, and breathe. Now while we're in this relaxed state, I'm just going to take the opportunity to take you even deeper. You can follow along. Just give yourself, even if you feel like you're pretending, just give yourself a body quiet, mind and quiet, and give yourself this opportunity to just slow down. As your tongue and jaw are relaxed, you're breathing. I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With each descending number, you simply allow yourself to go deeper and deeper relaxed. You can count along or listen to my words, but know, with each number that you hear, you'll go deeper and deeper relaxed. 10, going deeper, deeper, and deeper relaxed. 9, down, 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 letting go. 8, more relaxed, more relaxed, more relaxed. 7, deeper relaxed, deeper. With every sound, with every breath, no matter what's going on, give yourself the space just to go deeper and deeper. 7 and 6, relax, relax, relax. Everything's quieting down. 5, down, 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 letting go. 4 and 3, relax, relax, relax. 2, letting go. Just let it go for a moment, all of it. Let it go, just be present. 2 and 1, deeper relaxed, deeper relaxed, deeper relaxed. Good. When you're relaxing, your mind's very powerful. And I want you to imagine or sense or think about going to a beautiful place, a quiet place. No one's around. Mountains, the beach. Trust where you go. Maybe it's a quiet lake. Imagine you're sitting in the most comfortable seat, almost like you're laying on a cloud. Feel your arms and legs sinking in. Even if you're sitting up, you feel the relaxation moving through your body with every breath. And be there Notice the color of the sky and the position of the sun. Perhaps you can feel the warmth of the sun, perfect temperature, just shining on your body, relaxing you, one body part at a time. Nobody wants anything. Nobody needs anything. Permission just to be there. Listen to the sounds. Perhaps it's a water or stream in the distance, or trees swaying in a slight breeze, animals or birds. Smell that air. Calming, soothing every breath you take. As you're there, just see the colors around you. Flowers. Maybe if there's still water, the reflection of mountains in the distance. Just be there to see what you see and to feel what you feel, to hear what you hear. Again, any thoughts that come in, just allow them to move right back. And as you're there, just feel the warmth of that sun just shining on your body. And it can soak in now and relax each body part at a time, soaking into the top of your head, your forehead, your eyes, and behind your eyes. Let it move to all parts of your brain that just need to quiet and calm down. Reminding yourself that it's safe for you to take this moment just to relax, just to move into neutral, just to connect. Let it soak in. Again, relaxing your tongue, your jaw, breathing and exhaling. Let it move down your throat, opening up your throat, shoulders, releasing any tension, stress, down, down. Let this energy move down your arms and your elbows, your forearms, your hands, even your fingertips. And something very interesting, trust what comes up for you. Imagine you can open up your fingertips and just let this energy soak in the top of your head, through your mind, your body, out your fingertips. And right there, wherever you are, permission just to let go of the worry, to let go of the what ifs, the patterns, the amplifications, the tension. Just let it flow out. You don't have to control this, just allow as it moves out your fingers, giving yourself permission just to be. Your mind, your beautiful mind will help you. Let go of anything that isn't serving you, anything that's in the way of you moving through this step by step, day by day, moving into neutral and knowing your truth of your capability. As it moves through and out, you don't have to control this, just allow it to release any blocks you may or may not be aware of. Let that continue, that flow, that infinite flow. As it moves down into your chest now, as it moves through your chest, imagine with every inhale and every exhale, it moves through your heart, opening up your heart so you can be the observer, so you don't have to take on other people's reactions, where you can connect to your truth, your heart, who you are. As you relax, your mind opens up to all your truth and all the evidence that you have that you're capable of moving through this. You have, you will, and you will continue to. Being flexible, observer, and being curious. Allow it to flow through and down your spine, your upper, middle, and lower back. Every muscle, nerve, and fiber just relaxing, releasing, letting go. Let this energy move from the top of your head down through your adrenals, your thyroid, down into all your internal organs, every breath. Again, any part of your body that needs attention today, just let it go. You don't have to control it. Just let it move through, imagine, sense, feel. calming things down just for a moment. It's okay. It's safe to be present. It's safe to relax. It's safe to put your attention here. Your hips. Feels so good to be relaxing all the way from the top of your head to your hips, relaxing even more down into your legs, your knees, behind your knees, shins, calves, feet, and toes. And imagine again opening up your toes. And let this beautiful healing energy move from the top of your head, out your fingers, down through your entire body and out your toes. Almost like this river of energy, and you are on the bridge almost between your two physical eyes looking down at this river, and just let it flow and collect and release anything that doesn't serve you flowing out of your body. You don't even have to have an awareness of what it is or why it's there. Just allow it to flow through and out. And as it moves through and out, as you're the observer, imagine that you can just throw in anything into this river of energy that you want to release, that might be in your way of moving through these challenges, that might be in the way of you problem solving or remembering your truth. Let it just flow through and out. The mind is very clever, very powerful. Allow it to move through and out. Anything that's not serving you, anything that's in your way, any patterns, beliefs, just allow. Release and let go. Perhaps you feel a warmth and tingling as it's just moving through. Perhaps you're beginning to see that space of hope, of relief. Remember, we cannot control the storm. We cannot control the tsunami. All we can do is calm ourselves. Stop trying to control it. Just allow, be the observer. Let it flow through. Knowing that you have this capability of moving through day by day, hour by hour if you have to. That you're going to be very mindful of what you are paying attention to. And you refuse to be hypnotized by the constant news cycle, worst case scenarios. You are going to move through, let it pass through you, and be so mindful of where you place your attention. Every day, that gets easier as you become the observer. As you trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way, because the truth is you have, you will, and you will continue to. Allowing this energy now to transform, coming back into your toes, closing off your toes, back into your fingers, closing off your fingers. And let this beautiful energy settle right in your heart or your mind, wherever you feel like you need it. And from there, it comes through and out, and let it just surround you in a beautiful cocoon or a bubble. Make it a color that feels very warm, safe for you. With confidence, high self-esteem, you'll move forward, feeling safe and secure, trusting your ability to move through any challenges. Giving yourself the permission to pause, to go into neutral, anytime you choose. You can stay in this relaxed state. You can return to this video anytime. If you have any questions, you can private message me or book a call on my website, renebrenthypnosis.com. I am here for you. I'll be back next Friday. Learn some different techniques, do another meditation. But know that you can get through this. You are getting through this. We all are. Find some really positive, beautiful things that are happening in this world. They are. And hope to see you next Friday. If not, stay in this relaxed state. Calm yourself. No, you're not alone. Bye.